Back out tonight with my Tikka T1X chambered in 17 HMR. It's topped off with an Arkansas 5-20 digital day and night vision scope with LRF and ballistic calculator, and I'm shooting 17 grain Remington AccuTips. Right guys, there's a bunch of jackdaws just beyond this barn here. Where that fence panel's missing there at the side, if I can get over there, I should be able to get a shot off at one of these jackdaws. There's a little clump of them, maybe it's about 5 or 6. We'll go and pick up this jackdaw now. So that's where I shot the jackdaw from. Now, a lot of people get quite funny about jackdaws being shot. You are legally allowed to shoot them, and under General License 42, that's why this bird's been taken. This farm in particular gets a lot of jackdaws, and what we're finding is the jackdaws are coming in and they raiding the cake sheds where they mix all the food for the sheep and stuff like that, and they're taking all the cattle feed as well, so you do need to be controlled. So there's that jackdaw there. That was a decent result considering I just rocked up and got the rifle out of the van. We'll pick this up and we'll maybe hang around, see if any more come down. But nothing else has presented a shot around the farm with the HMR, so I'm going to make my way back over to the field where the week before last I shot a vixen and a few fox cubs. I feel like I've got a moral and an ethical obligation to go back over there just to thin the rest of the cubs out, because I don't like the idea of the cubs being left to fend for themselves. Although it is pest control, you've got to respect what you do and have a respect for what you shoot, whether it's a rat or a fox or a deer. So I'm going to go back over there now and just see if I can make contact with the rest of them cubs and thin them out. So fingers crossed we can get onto them and get a good job done tonight, pest control wise and also ethically as well. Let's see how we get on. I'm just going to clear the air on my last video because I got a lot of flack because I shot 2 hares, and a lot of people said it's illegal, I shouldn't have done it. But in England and Wales you can actually shoot hares all year round. They don't come in a season like they do in Scotland and on arable land. In England and Wales you can legally shoot hares all year round. Now, just for the record, I really enjoy watching the hares. I don't take any enjoyment out of shooting them, but where I shoot there's a hell of a lot of hares and I've been asked to take them out and thin them down, so that's what I'm having to do, guys. I'm going to put the legislation up at the end of the video so you can see it in black and white. I was originally on the same sort of trail of thought that I could only shoot hares when they were in season. Now, when I was told that I could shoot them, I looked into it, so that's why I've been doing it. And I think in field sports, if we can educate, as we do in our pastime, hobby, obsession as you might call it for some of us, if we can educate people along the way, then that's a good thing, right? I like to think that if I can learn something every day, that's great. As they say, every day is a school day, and we're continuously learning, aren't we, as we develop and grow. Now, I'm not afraid to say if I've done something wrong, I'll put my hands up and say, yeah, I got that wrong. But in this instance, I didn't, guys. And for the lads who jumped on us for it, I just hope this goes some way of explaining why and the legality of it. I'm not going to respond to like trolls and stuff like that, because I know I'm going to get trolls on here, but for the purpose of information, yeah, I will say why I did it, and my backings and reasons for that are what I've said. So hopefully that clears the air, guys. Right, let's get to some shooting now, because I really want to have a good night tonight. Right guys, back on task now. So on my last video, this small copse right here and that little bit there, and where the entrance is leading into the next field there, that's where I shot the cubs at the end of my last video. Now, in my film, I did pick up a few more heat signatures around that small copse. So the plan is that we're going to swing round to the left this way, and we're going to come into the wind this way along that hedgerow there to try and get a line of sight down onto that copse. Going to use the wind to our advantage to mask our noise, and most importantly our scent, and see if we can get onto these cubs if they're still there. Got a pair of lapwings here, lovely to see. Really enjoy seeing the lapwings. Again, this is another reason why we need to control the foxes, to really help these ground nesting birds. So to the people on my last video who were saying I shouldn't be shooting cubs, small cubs turn into big foxes, so we have got to take them out. It's 10 to 9. Hopefully when it gets dark we might see a little bit more activity. Gonna have to be quiet now though. I didn't have to wait too long for the fox cubs to come out, and it was reassuring to see them in the place that I saw them last time. Last time I was here I saw 3 through my thermal, and at this point I've clocked 2 here, so I'm hopeful that there is a third still there cutting around with these 2. Them foxes there are about 97 yards away from where the opening is going into that next field, and they were totally oblivious to my presence. So much so that they even came quite close to me, no more than 40 yards away, but I couldn't stop them to get a shot off at them at this range, which would have been ideal for the HMR. They got spooked by something moving through the next field, and it turns out to be this roebuck that came through. This is a lovely example of a roebuck, and it was nice to see this. Back to the foxes now. They're back out, cutting around with not a care in the world. I pinged these with the LRF before, and as you can see there, it's come up at 100 yards. Now ideally, I'd like to get them a lot closer, but if one did stay still enough for long enough, I probably would have took this shot. But as you can see, they're just not having any of it. Absolutely in a world of their own. So it was just a waiting game, and I'm still waiting to see that third fox. It's great just sitting here watching these foxes. And then one pops out. For all it looked nice and light through the Zulus there, you can actually see how dark it was here and what sight picture the Zulus gives in low light conditions. Can't argue with that. That's cracking, considering the lens on the Zulus is small. Not long after, I clocked this other fox that has come out the hedgerow just where that other one was. I've switched to night vision mode now. Just needed to stay still. Straight down. Right guys, that's 2 more cubs down there. So after that roebuck came through and darkness fell, I made my way onto this little track here just so I could close a gap down between me and where the foxes were, because ideally I wanted to shoot them at less than 100 yards with only having the HMR. So closing the gap down was really important, and I'm pleased I did that because I managed to shoot 2 there. Probably no more than 50 or 60 yards. I think when I look back through the footage I'll probably see what it was with the LRF, but that's a really good result, that. So we'll go and have a look at these now and see what they are, see if they're dogs or vixens. It's just started to rain as well, which is typical. It's been forecast all day and it didn't come, and now it's decided to come when I'm out shooting, so that's unfortunate, but that's how it is. So you can see here, he's the first one, and I think the other one was over there. Let's have a little look at this. Yeah, there's the first cub there. That's a vixen, that one. And this other one here. Let's have a look. That's a dog, that. But that's a really, really good result, that. So I'm happy with that. I was going to wait around a bit longer, but with the rain I might just make my way back up to the van and try and get home. As I was coming up to the van, this rabbit was sat in the field next to where the van was, so before I put the HMR away, I had to oblige. Tell you what, lads, I'm not as fit as I think I am. I've just had to double back up to the farm there in the rain, and in my mind I still think I'm 21, 22, but my body's telling me, no, you're not, you idiot, you need to stop this. But to summarise for tonight, that was a good result, that. I was able to get back out there, fin a couple of the cubs out that was left. There's one more cub. I do believe that there's no more after that one, so I will try and get out as soon as I can to finish that one off. But it was just nice to get out. It's a shame the weather had to stop play, but I got a bonus rabbit on the way back up to the farm, so that's another good result there. So a jackdaw, 2 foxes, a rabbit, and we saw a roebuck, which was really nice. There was a badger there. So yeah, it's been a good night out. So thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it, and thank you to everybody who subscribed and got me over 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate that. So until next time, guys, stay safe and happy hunting.